Hey guys, how are you? Welcome back to my channel. Today I would like to make a video and sharing tips on how to score a Birkin in Europe. But first, let's undo this baby from the felt. And voila, she looks much better now. I'm just gonna put this felt on the side. Okay, so if you watch my Birkin unboxing video, you know that I didn't get this from Paris. I did get it from Europe, but I got it from Brussels. And if you haven't watched that video, I will link it down below, and please go ahead and watch it. And also, if you're not a subscriber, I would really appreciate it if you would like to join the community here. And my name is Monique, and also the bell so that you'll be notified every time I upload a new video. But anyway, enough of the plugs. I actually wrote down some points. Okay, so this is my Birkin 30 in the color Eton. It looks like a little bit of like a blue tint now, because I think maybe because I'm wearing blue, but it's Eton. It does look different in different lights, so it can get darker, it can get a bit lighter depending on the light. And this one has the rose gold hardware, which is a new hardware for Hermes. And you know, if you look closer, I have committed the cardinal sin of not taking off my sticker yet. And yes, I have worn this bag maybe 3-4 times during my travel. As soon as I got it, I wore it because I wanted to test it out. And yes, I went to the Hermes store more than once with this sticker on it. But yeah, I don't know if I'm ready yet. The thing is, I haven't actually worn this again since I get back here. Because okay, so 30 Eton in gris Eton, which is a gray, so it is a very good neutral. That's what I was asking for, is a neutral. And yeah, in the rose gold hardware. So my number one tip is always be prepared. Know what you want and don't be too specific, you know. I mean, unless you are very specific, but you know, the chances of you getting exactly what you want is not very big comparing if you have several options. For me, as long as I get a neutral color, I'll be happy. If I do get black with palladium hardware, I'll be ecstatic and I'll be done with, you know, my bag, like my Birkin search. But this is an Eton, and it's one of the colors on my list, and I'm more than happy because it's not easy to get a neutral. Yes, I am a base. I do want a neutral for my Birkin just because I want to be able to carry it every day and forever. Okay, so be prepared. Know what you want. Don't be too specific. If you can, have like at least 3 options. You know, if you want neutral, tell them what color of neutral that you want. Maybe, you know, maybe noir, a taupe, a gold if you like gold, you know, a tan, or maybe a red is a neutral for you. So then, you know, you give them options. If you like colors, give them options of colors that you want, because you don't want to end up telling them, oh, anything, and then they give you a yellow one, and then you're like, oh no, I actually don't want it, but you're pressured to get it. So give option. Hardware, size, you know, always good to have more than one size option. Don't just say 25 unless you already have several Birkins and that is exactly what you want. We are specifically talking about getting your first Birkin. So maybe 25 and 30, that was my option for size. You can do 30 or 35. Okay, so but no, go to Pinterest and check out how these sizes look on someone which is your height, or yeah, in your size. What I did was actually I went to the Real store in New York a few times, and I tried on the 35 and the 30 and see what I liked. And I thought 35 was going to be crazy big, but actually it wasn't. But for me, 25 or 30 is something that I want, and I'm really happy that I actually got the 30 because it's such a classic size. Because if I asked and got the 25, it is so cute and adorable and so beautiful, but you know, like I wouldn't even like freely put it on my wrist. And also that is trendy now, the small the small bags, but what about like 5 years from now? Is it still going to be trendy? And maybe big bags are coming back, and then everyone wants a 35. So yeah, 30 is perfect for me. Hardware, actually my first top hardware is palladium, but I don't mind getting gold also. And to get rose gold, it's like, I feel like it's very even more neutral than gold, because the Hermes gold is very shiny and gold. So yeah, the rose gold kind of like goes with everything. You wear silver, you wear gold, you know, and it doesn't really pop so much. I mean, it does pop, but not as much as the gold, in my opinion. Okay, so number 1, be prepared. Number 2, if you're traveling with a spouse or a boyfriend, try to go to the store with them. They are much nicer to the husbands, to the boyfriends. They are much nicer, maybe because if you're a guy, if you're a boyfriend of your husband, and you go into an Hermes store, you are a serious buyer and you're buying for a gift. It's not like you reselling, most likely not. But if you're like a woman, there's a big chance that you could be a reseller if you go to an appointment or go to the Hermes store with a spouse. So what happened to me is that I actually sent him, because I was just really not hoping that they would give us a Birkin in Brussels, because from what I hear, everywhere outside Paris, they focus more on the local people. So that's what I thought, they were just, you know, gonna say no, and then, you know, we're not gonna lose anything. And being a guy, he doesn't really care whether they're gonna laugh at him or like think that he's crazy for asking a Birkin. But yeah, if you're traveling with a spouse, I think your chances are usually bigger, even though sometimes you have to try a few times, but your chance is usually bigger to get your first Birkin or Kelly. Number 3, always be polite, always say hello, say bonjour, like comment ça va, like how are you, and all that. Always be polite to them, and never just like, hello, I want a Birkin or a Kelly, you know. It's just like, it's considered not polite by the French or the European to just immediately say that I want a Birkin or a Kelly, you know. You don't have to talk about the weather and everything else for like half an hour. Just say like, hello, how are you, blah blah blah. That's, I think, what my husband said. It's like, I'm here because I want to look for a birthday present for my wife. And then he said, I know this is almost impossible, but is it possible if you have a Birkin in the shop right now? So yeah, be polite, small talk in the beginning, not too long, but make sure that you connect with the essay, because you don't have a lot of time anyway. And be sincere, you know. Be very sincere, and even if they say that they don't have, and still be polite, because you never know, you might want to go back again the next day. Okay, so 4, having a story is always helpful. Not to say that you have to make up a story, but adding more romance, more sauce to why you want to get your Birkin or Kelly, it always helpful, because it means that you are genuine, that you really love the brand, that you want the bag, not just because, you know, everyone has the Birkin and you gotta have a Birkin. So things like, oh, this is my first time in Paris and I love it so much, and I want to get something from these flagship store in Paris, and or my first time in Europe, and you know, I really love it, and I really love Hermes, and blah blah blah. Or if you just want to get the bag, it's like, why you want to get the bag, you know, why are you in love with the Birkin, why are you in love with the Kelly? If you know the history of the bag, it will also really help. Or if it's your anniversary, or if it's like your birthday or a push present, you know, have some story will definitely help you to make the essay feel, you know, like, oh, sympathetic, and want to give you one. So if you have a story on why you want to get your first Birkin or Kelly, and why is it in Europe specifically, I think like there probably would be more sympathetic to give you one, hopefully, right? So I think those are my 4 tips on how to get your first Birkin in Europe. I did so much research because I was really set into trying to get an appointment in Paris and trying to get the Birkin in Paris, because from what I get is that Paris is the only place that will give you one for if you're a tourist, right? But I think if you're in any European countries, especially if it's a country that is not as visited as other countries, you know, like Brussels, Belgium, you know, Antwerp or Brussels, they're not as you know, they don't have as many tourists as Italy, let's say. If you probably ask in Rome, I've seen one video about a lady who is asking for a Birkin in Rome, and they get laughed at and everything, like the Madison, New York. So if you're in a city or a country in Europe that is not as crowded and they have an Hermes store, why not try it? Because I also saw this video of another lady who got her Birkin from Barcelona or somewhere in Spain. No, she got a Kelly. And so she got a Kelly. I think her name is Jules. So shout out to Jules. I was watching her story about how she got her Kelly in Barcelona. So it does happen. It might not be as big of a chance to try to get it in Paris, but it does happen. If you happen to be in another European country, please go ahead and try, because if you're in Paris for only 4 or 5 days, I hear crazy stories about some people trying to get appointments for 4 or 5 days and didn't even get appointments. You didn't even get your foot in the door, let alone try to ask for a Birkin, even though some people actually managed to get a Birkin or a Kelly from the flagship store without even having an appointment. So this is all by chance. So the more you try and the more you're prepared of what you want and how to ask, I think the bigger your chances are. Because, you know, you might not get it the first time, but then if you keep trying and if you know exactly what you are asking for, so you don't get nervous and then having to say yes to a crazy color bag that you don't actually want. So yeah, those are my tips. I hope they are helpful to you. Those are just tips based on my personal experience. Everyone has a different experience on how they get their first Birkin and Kelly, but in my opinion, yes, I do agree getting in Europe is the best, because it's the biggest chance without having a crazy purchase history, and also the price is the best. So this one in the US, I think it's probably around 13,000 plus tax, but in Europe it's the 30 is 7,550 euro, and then you get a percentage back. I am not sure whether it's 11, 12 or 13. Let's say it's 10%, you get like 750 euros back. And with the exchange and everything, at the moment euro is like 1 euro is 1.1 US dollars. So basically after the exchange and everything, it becomes maybe 7,500 US dollar compared to like 12 or 13,000. It's definitely worth it if you happen to be in Europe and want to get one. That's my tips for today. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and click like or comment down below. And yeah, I'll see you on my next one. Bye.